All right, here we are. Well,
Hello.
we're recovered from the event. Wasn't it fantastic?
Oh, I had a great time.
Oh my
Lots of
gosh.
great people. It was really, really good. The energy was fantastic.
The energy, the vibe in the
Yeah.
whole group, all 3 days was, electric. There
Yes.
was so much like people were just jazzed and they were getting so much information. And I felt like everybody was like raring to go and just really start getting their businesses up and running into action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And I've already got clients who are plugging it in now. Like they started there and then they came home and they've already jumped on it when they got back. So it's great to see and hear.
That's exactly what we want. That's wonderful.
Yes.
All right, so I will go ahead and get us started because we have a handful of people watching. If you are watching, thanks for joining
Awesome.
us. Write in your chat, hello. We want to see where you're at.
Hello.
And Amber can do chat now, so she can manage. She could be like saying hello to you. So, anyways, thank you
Yes.
for joining us and welcome to the Dog Gurus Live. We are your trusted pet care business coaches, passionate about helping pet care professionals create safe, thriving, and profitable facilities. So at the Dog Gurus, we're all about promoting safety first and positive always in everything that we do. I'm Shantae Marquez, one of your Profit Network coaches, with my fellow coach, Amber Burkhalter. And together, we
Hello.
work with countless pet care business owners to help them achieve their goals and elevate their operations. That's what makes their heart sing, and that's what we want for you. So we're just helpers. We're givers, I
We're
guess, huh?
givers. Yes, we're just guiding. We're just guiding over here.
Yeah. And it looks like we have Mac joining us from Chicago and
Yep.
Brendan from
Yep.
Cincinnati. All right. Awesome. So today's topic is making the shift, stop competing on prices and start standing out and charge what you're worth. And honestly, I mean, I was just telling Amber that, we could do a whole day of workshop about this. I
We
mean, this
really could. This
topic.
is a big, big topic. We're really just going to touch the very, very top of it today.
Yeah. But there's nothing more stressful than running your business in a reactive strategy and
Yes.
specifically pricing. And in fact, honestly, it's just exhausting because you end up feeling like your business is running you rather than you
Yeah.
running your business. So, we're going to talk about how we can gain control and shift to a proactive strategy that showcases your value and you start attracting the clients that are looking for quality of care versus the lowest price. All right, Amber, I'll let you start.
Well, it's very interesting. I had a conversation today with one of my clients about this, who's looking at a price adjustment. She's really anxious about, clients jumping because of the price adjustment, even though everything, as we know, is getting more and more expensive. And so we talked a lot about showcasing her unique value and the unique value that her facility brings to her community. I think a lot of times we get caught up, and I don't know if you struggled with the Shantae, but when I had my facility, I would get caught up in what someone else was doing, what some other business was doing, and what they charged, and were we in line with them? And in the beginning, I was consumed by it. I can remember like a new facility opened around the corner, and I would panic. But by the end, we knew who we were. I knew who the business was, and I knew what we did and what we brought to the market. And we were the most expensive place by the
Same.
time I sold. And I was perfectly happy with that because we had a very clear target market.
And
And it certainly helped our profits.
yeah, and there's nothing worse than constantly looking over your shoulder and
Oh,
chasing
God.
what the competitor is doing or feeling like, you have to abide by them to win the next customer. I mean,
Yes.
that's just not a way to run a business at all. I mean, you need to focus on what you do and how you do it best. And so I'm glad that you actually were talking about the unique value proposition, and I made a little PDF for people.
Oh,
So
excellent.
yeah, I'm going to put it up on stage.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk to how you talk to your client about it today.
So we were talking, let's see, I want to look at your slide. Yes,
I'll
absolutely.
explain this. So basically, there's several different ways that you can create your unique value proposition. But basically, it's why buyers should choose your services over others. Like, what makes you unique and special? And so this is a really simple like formula that you can use. but it's we help X to Y by Z, right?
Yeah.
So X is going to be who your target audience is. Y is going to be why they're using you. And Z is why should they use you? So here's one that I made up for people. We help pet owners to provide the best care possible for their beloved pets while they're away by offering a safe, personalized, stimulating, and convenient pet hotel and daycare experience. So
That's fantastic. I love that. Yeah. We today talked a lot about how we want to be aware of what our competition is doing. You don't want to not pay attention to what is going on around you, right? I mean, you need to be aware of what is happening. However, that cannot be your level set. Like you can't set your pricing based on what somebody Bob's around the corner is doing, because what you're doing is completely different. Mm-hmm. So for this facility, what they're doing is totally different. They've got enrichment, they've got personalized care, they have certifications with their staff, their luxury brand. So it's not apples to apples, right? So don't focus on comparing cost, right? Let's not compete on cost. Let's talk about what we are doing that is different and what provides a better facility for your dogs. I mean, pet parents want safety and trust and peace of mind.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's impossible to compare on cost, number one.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, their costs are going to be completely different from you.
Yes.
I guarantee it. Their rent's not going to be the same. The payroll's not going to be the same. Their overhead. So, I do think yes, like you said, it's important to understand market rate, but yes. You as a business owner should understand your true cost of doing business, find out what that break-even point is, and then you add your profit percentage on top of that, and that creates your price. And I guarantee that's changed in the past 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever,
Oh, it probably changed in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Your cost of doing business is changing rapidly right now. So focusing on that experience and giving your customers an irresistible experience. That was what our differentiator was. Yeah. And people would say, you're the most expensive. We know that we're the most expensive. And here's why. And what we did that was different, and how your dog had a different experience. And how can your customer have a different experience? So popping out, this is what we do better. Maybe you do a lot of enrichment. Maybe you have luxury boarding kennels. Maybe you have 24 hours, 7 days a week, pick up and drop off. You're going to have something that is different from your competitors. You just need to pop that out and get over that fear of, oh my gosh, I'm going to charge too much. Because peace of mind, there is no price for peace of mind. There is no price for loyalty and trust. There's no price for that, right?
Yeah. And I would also say that, look, this is how your customers are choosing to, okay, I guess I'll back up for a second. So customers look at their pets as their babies, correct?
Yes.
So with their human children, do you think that they shop around and they go for the cheapest place?
We do not.
Yeah. So, but then that made me think in my head, well, wait a minute, I got to back up even more, because who is the customer that you're going after, right?
Yep.
For me, I wanted the customer that was nothing too good for my baby. Like,
absolutely.
They wanted everything. They cared about quality. Price was not the biggest concern. So I think also when you're talking about your marketing strategies and raising your prices, you need to think about who is your customer and really identify their personality and what their needs are and what their desires are and how to solve their problems. And then once you kind of have that set, then you realize you're not going for the customer who's just calling up and saying, what's your price? What's your price? That's probably not your customer.
That's not your customer, most likely.
Unless it's like a old school, business. I don't want anything negative. So but yeah.
Well, no, you don't want commodity shopping, do you? Yeah. I mean, one of the things that you need to be crystal clear on is what you're talking about. What is your customer avatar? Mm-hmm. Who are they? What are their needs? How do they spend their money? What do they want for their dogs? Right. And if you're providing that for them, target market, match.
Yeah.
Brendan's put a question in here. I'm going to read through it real quick. When announcing to new clients, I didn't know we had that feature. That's very cool. When announcing to clients, do you lean toward more explanation, value, changes, investments we made, or short and sweet? Oh, value all day.
Yeah.
Value, changes, and investments.
Value and benefits. That's all day long with everything that you do. Value and
Yes.
benefits. So you could talk about the features, but you need to say what the benefits are of the features.
Yeah.
So that's really important because the benefits equal value.
And you need to talk to your front desk about this. So if people are calling and asking, inquiring about your services, make sure that they're not just focusing on features, but they're focusing on benefits and outcomes. So if someone says, well, what do they get for lodging? Well, not only do we have luxurious suites and enrichment 3 times a day, and we have a water park, and your dog gets to sleep on their own bed, our staff is completely trained and certified. They've all been through Pet Guru College. We have live webcams all the time. I mean, focusing on things that you don't. So mom and dad have complete peace of mind, and they know that their pup is being taken care of. I used to say to my staff all the time, what do we do here? What do we sell? And people would say, oh, well, we sell dog services. Well, what we really do is alleviate guilt, because mom and dad have gone to the Bahamas and they've left Fluffy behind, and they feel terrible for poor Fluffy. But then they see Fluffy on his bed, laid out on his bed with his little webcam, and he's had his enrichment for the day, and he's chewing on his Kong, and they'll pay anything for that price, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's invaluable to them because it's like their children. It's like you said, Shantae, they're like their children.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought up, really working with your front staff and coaching them to start talking this way. For my business, I don't know if my staff love the scripts, but I love the scripts. Once you got over the hump of getting used to using it, and it really came like second nature and was comfortable and conversational, then they loved it. And then they were like, if I asked them to promote something or, talk about a new service, they'd be like, where's my script? Oh, okay. But this is, if you don't want to have scripts, because that's a lot of work, you can also have like talking points at the little cheat sheet at your front desk. But I would also just work with your front desk and coach them on how you want them to present the business with, if it's a question that comes up on the phone, a new inquiry about your business, like how do you want them to respond to that? I would certainly make sure everybody is trained to not just go into price, but start asking about the client and what their needs are.
Yes.
And then you can start talking about your services that fit those needs. Now that's a completely different conversation than what the prices are.
Yeah, I actually had this conversation yesterday evening about, you need to ask more questions, pull more information out of your client. What are they looking for? Well, tell us about your dog. What has your experience been in the past? What kind of services are you looking for? Does Fluffy have a special need? So asking more questions and letting them give you that information so you can guide them. And you want to make sure it's a quality fit, right? So there are qualifying questions there to make sure they are a good fit for what you're going to provide, but let's assume that they are. But asking more questions, exactly what they're looking for, and then you can tailor that response to them. Exactly. Did you ever do role playing? We used to do role playing.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, and listen, when you're asking those questions, you're building a relationship with the client.
Yes.
But yes, I did do a lot of role playing, and I was just talking about this other day in Profit Network. And I had fun with my staff in role playing because number one, it was a little nerve wracking for them to even do this with me because I was the boss. So I would try to just be really silly. So sometimes I would be just a really easygoing client because I wanted them to kind of get used to saying the verbiage that I wanted them to say. But then sometimes I would be goofy and silly. And, the names of my pet would be like Rainbow Sparkle Dust or something like that, make them laugh. And then
cupcake sprinkles.
I would come up with something bizarre, but I'm a hippie at heart anyway. So I'd come up with some hippy dippy thing.
Yeah.
And then I would be a really mean, grouchy customer with them, because they're going to run into that. But I wanted them to know that don't take it so serious. It's not, not you. It's just the experience that you had with this particular customer, whatever they were having a bad day. But it just made them feel a little bit more at ease that we kind of went through it. And I knew that it was going to happen, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So
yeah. I think role playing is really powerful. It's it also gives them the opportunity to focus on and get comfortable with talking about the customer experience, so that when customers come in, this is what they're going to experience. I know for us, creating that irresistible customer experience was what allowed us to charge what we were worth. And that's what we're talking about, is charging what we're worth, right? So anything that you can, and your clients will tell you what they want. You just have to ask them.
Right.
And you can always try something and see what happens. And if your clients love it, you can roll it in and price accordingly for sure.
Yeah.
How many times we used to review our pricing about once a year. I think for us, that was what worked best, was once a year.
Yep. I agree. Once a year. And we usually took advantage of it actually in the slow period.
Yeah.
So like first quarter is usually when I made those changes. And I would also say that when I first started the business, I did all-inclusive date or lodging. So it was one price for all activities. And then I made a huge change in my pricing that increased it quite a bit. And that was activity-based lodging, because I was leaving a lot of profitability on the table with that other model. So I switched to that activity-based lodging. And it was also, we positioned it as, look, we're allowing the customer to choose the activities that they want based on the needs of their dog, because not all dogs want to be in play for 3-4 hours a day or all day. Right. It's number one, it's not always the best thing for them, but that's kind of how we positioned it. And for that huge change, we did have a lot of people, because we certainly were the highest price in the area the whole time that I was in business, but we lost some people, but they ended up coming back to us in 3 or 6 months, because they went and they decided, you know what, that wasn't the kind of quality of care that we were looking for. So we'd rather pay a few bucks more and go to Joyful Dogs,
That happened to us when we did a really big pricing change and we rolled out memberships, and it changed our pricing structure significantly. Up until then, I had actually priced based on size of dog, and we stopped doing that simply because I realized, regardless of the size of the dog, I still have the same overhead, right? It doesn't matter if it's a small dog or a big dog, I still have to have the same quality of care. But when we did that big switch, we were, like you said, we were always the most expensive, and it was a change for our client base. We lost probably 25% of our clients, but that was our goal. We had a lot of clients who were just buying as a commodity, and we felt like we were getting away from the vision of Canine Coach, what we had built it to be. But I would say that all but maybe, and this is not an exaggeration, all but maybe 5% of those clients were back within 3 months, because they realized the quality of care they were getting for their dog superseded anything around us.
Yeah. That's really what they're looking for. So I want to give people some strategies, marketing strategies to use when to kind of make that shift and start attracting the kind of clients that are more value focused rather than price focused. So some of the things that I think is really important to utilize in your marketing, whether it's through your newsletter or through your social media or on your website, but have your testimonials. Use testimonials, like get testimonials from your customers. They're going to reinforce your value probably 10 times better than you can, actually.
It's authentic.
Yes, it's authentic.
Yes.
So I know that there's, some channels that can hook up your Google reviews and have it scrolling and always updating on your website to show. That's a really good idea. I always added in a Google review in my newsletter at the bottom with a picture of the pet. And I felt like the clients, they would open up that newsletter to see if their picture was there at the bottom.
Yeah.
And if I always found when I did highlight people's reviews, that it prompted other people to start doing more, because they wanted their shout out to be shown.
Yes.
So I think that's really good. I think use storytelling in your social media is really great too. So, you can.
I think that storytelling is the most powerful thing you can do in social media. Last week, we had Taylor out last week as one of our as part of our live event in Texas last week. And that was a lot of what she talked about. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, she's an influencer on social media. It's Taylor Cezanne. Am I saying the last name correctly?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Great.
But storytelling, she talks a lot about storytelling and how important it is. And I know with our clients, hearing or seeing their dog on our social media and talking about their experience with us, their friends would come and look at it, and then their moms would come and look at it, and it would start to really snowball, right? But we're not talking about our features, are we? We're talking about how Shantae brought her dog and had this amazing experience, and what we used to tell it from the dog's perspective and not from the owner's perspective. And people loved that, right? And we did this one series, which I really loved, which was we interviewed the dogs like they were on television, like, Rooster, how was your stay at Canine Coach today? Oh my gosh, Canine Coach was amazing, right? The dog would like talk about it. People loved it, but it was a way for us to talk about the experience that our dogs were having. It was a differentiator for sure.
Oh my gosh, that just makes me think. And they probably didn't have this when you were doing it, but I'm sure you had fun with voices, because I had like different voices going in my head. But there's an app out there, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's an app out there that you could take a picture of the dog, and you can put voiceover, and it'll have the mouth speaking like the dog.
Oh, that's perfect. No, we didn't have that. That's cool though.
Wouldn't that be fun to use? So
that would be amazing.
Staff find that app. I'm sure they may already use it. Who knows?
But they probably already know where it is.
Yeah. The other thing that I would recommend people do to start setting, reinforcing the value of their services and the benefits of their services is start, promoting educational content in their social media or in their newsletters, or even I don't know, you could do something, at the front, in the front reception area, like
absolutely
tip of the week or something like that.
Yeah, tip of the week is great on a sandwich board. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's another way to just really showcase, your benefits and value.
Yeah. We did enrichment because no one was doing it, and it was so foreign to what we were doing. It was just so out there. So we talked a lot about enrichment and about how it benefited the dog. And we just tried to educate our clients on how it improved every aspect of them coming and staying with us. If you can create a situation where your business becomes the hub of educating for your clients, and you can do that in a lot of ways, you set yourself up as an expert, right? So you're an expert in this industry. And if you can loop in partners to have those conversations, you set yourself apart, right? And that definitely is, a value added proposition. So people don't have any trouble seeing, oh, well, of course they're more expensive because of fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing that my staff used to do that was kind of fun with their social media is like show a before and after, of the pet. Like a pet, like crazy, like super energetic, crazy face. Those eyes that are like, yes. And then the pet, like just chill, like totally relaxing.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So hopefully we gave you some ideas that could help you with, really reinforcing your value, so you don't have to be fearful about charging what you're worth and charging what you need to charge to be profitable. I mean, let go of the fear. I think most people, the narrative that they put in their head and the outcome they think is going to happen when they change your prices is 10 times worse than the reality. You might have a couple customers upset. You might lose a couple customers, but I guarantee, by charging prices where you're profitable, it's going to have you working smarter, not harder. I mean, your occupancy, look, I would rather have a lower occupancy level, but higher profitability than, vice versa. So,
yes. Yeah. It's better for everybody. It's better for everybody. It's better for your team. It's better for the dogs. It's better for the clients. It's better for everybody. If you're a profitable, healthy business, then you're just going to give better service to your clients. I mean, you just are. You said something earlier about talking to people and having face-to-face time. And we were talking last week about how we are in a service industry, but and because of that, it is relationship-based, right? So setting your front desk up to be able to have those conversations as a part of that relationship is key for sure.
Yeah, they're a crucial part of the whole puzzle piece, because they are the frontline communications. So it's really important that they are sharp and they're comfortable and that they can speak with confidence So I would spend good quality time with them and getting them prepared and giving them the tools necessary to be successful at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All
Well,
right.
I'm looking. All right. I don't have any more questions in our little chat box right now.
All right. Well, then we'll just wrap things up unless we see some come through. A couple things. If you are not in our Facebook group, Grow Your Pet Care Business, please join. It's a great forum to be surrounded with like-minded business owners, and you can get advice, you can get support, all sorts of good stuff in there. So I will go ahead and actually put that in the chat. And yeah, let's see. Give me a second and I'll put that in the chat.
Yeah, that's a great group. It's it's a large group of people with lots of different types of experience. So it's really nice to get an outside, somebody who's in the business, but not in your niche part of the business. It's really nice to get outside perspective and to feel the community that's there. I highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And if you ever are looking for coaching yourself from, people like myself and Amber, all of the coaches at the Dog Gurus, we all have owned and operated our own businesses. That's what makes us unique as a company. We've been in your shoes. We've walked the walk. Some of us are still operating our businesses. Some of us are absentee owners. So we have a whole variety of expertise that we love to share. So if you're looking for one-on-one coaching or group coaching, check out our website because we have a lot of different options. We have, My Talking App.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
That's it. Use that app. Use it in your social media. Use it in your advertising. It'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I'm checking that out later.
Yeah, especially if it's like you tag the client, the owner of the pet in your social media. They're going to love it. And I bet you they'll share it 100 times over. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But if you're looking for coaching or looking for guidance on how to improve your business, elevate your quality of care, or train your staff, go to our website, doggurus.com. We have a lot of different levels of choices for you to use for education. We have growth intensive, we have profit network. So reach out to us. Happy to talk. If you ever want to just talk one-on-one and tell us about your business, and then we can tell you what resources are best, you can always schedule a strategy call with me, or you just go to the website. You'll find buttons for that. All right. Everybody, have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.